Welcome everybody once again to vidIQ channel reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at hopefully your channel. If not though, we're going to see a lot of channels today, and we are going to hopefully give you some advice that you can take back to your channel and learn from it, grow a little bit. Hopefully you're having an awesome day. I do hope you're also considering goals for next year. This is always a great time of year to consider where do I want to be next year? Okay, what was my goal this year? How did I do on that? And where do I want to be next year? So yeah, you know what? As we're going through today, keep that in mind. I will also warn you that today is a little bit shorter with the holidays. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the background, even here. So we're doing an hour today. So we'll try and get through as many channels as possible, as fast as possible. We'll do that with Rob Wilson. How's it going?
Hey, yo. That button. Oh, did it work? Did you hear anything?
Worked. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, neither did I. That was a bit weird. You are going to experience with me my new computer and whether or not it works. The sound seemingly doesn't work. And I'm just going to be honest with you. We're not busy here at vidIQ. The reason the live stream is an hour is because, as you can see, Dan's decked out his studio for Christmas decorations, and I need to do exactly the same. That's why the live stream is shorter than it typically is. I do apologize, but that's the way it is. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, we just want to decorate. That's all we want to do. So thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to start today with a quick advertisement. Hey, let's go. I thought I had a fun noise for advertisement. Oh, I do. Yay! It's not really an advertisement. We just want to tell you about our Discord server because we are doing a creator of the year. There you go.
I heard that. Yeah. Good work.
Yeah.
Good work.
So if you want to be involved, if you would like to nominate somebody for People's Choice, if you want to submit, you can submit in any of these categories here. You could win Creator of the Year. Victoria set all this up. There's all the information on the screen, and obviously if you want to take a closer look at it, join the Discord server linked down below, or you can type in vidiq.com/discord. That should bring you right there. So I just wanted to mention that right up top. Victoria's got you covered there too with a link in the chat. So with all that out of the way, why don't we jump into some channel reviews? We have a few pre-selected channels today. It is mostly going to be randoms, though. Random channels. I want to say,
yeah, you randoms. Hello, right, randoms. Welcome.
The first channel we're looking at today is Open Air Outdoors.
Hey.
With over 2,000 subscribers, 261 videos. The outdoorsman and me sharing my outdoor adventures.
Cool.
Nice. Description there. It fits completely in this top line here, which is nice. Nice not to see it truncated. And they asked us on the forum to just give us first impressions, which is typically what we do. But when you fill out the form, you can tell us a specific area you'd like us to focus on. If you just say, "Oh, I want more views," like that's what we're here to do for all of you. But Open Air Outdoors just wanted our first impressions. So, Rob, first impressions.
So my first impressions are, given the channel banner, the value proposition that we saw in the description, and then just the general packaging on the thumbnails and the titles. You live this life that you want to share with your audience, and that is a very good place to be. I can see an outlier here, an incredible outlier. And we know that from the vidIQ tools where it says 33x. That's saying that video is performing 33 times better than anything else. That is really interesting. Alone in Moose Country, I will be thinking right now of similar formats. Maybe that idea of isolation, being out by yourself. Can you package up other videos? And it might be along the lines of alone in another desolate or wild area that you often frequent, and pitching it like that. So I think that's definitely a thing that you can revisit. What I would say is that perhaps some of the packaging and the titles on some of the other videos is a little weaker, and maybe we're not getting enough of an intrigue. The one I'm looking at here is Fireside Chat. Just basically it's a little up, Dan. I think it was 5 months ago, 207 views. Just scroll up a bit more. There you go. Not a one-trick pony. It's this one. I'm not sure if that has enough intrigue to get me invested. Having said that, it could be a community video where you're just wanting to talk casually to your audience, and that is totally cool. But generally speaking, given a cadence, given their channel size, and the outlier, the one particular outlier. I say this channel is in a healthy place, but what does it need to do to maybe trim out some of the fat, some of the videos that aren't performing that well, and have more of these outlier pieces of content?
So yeah, I don't want to really like even knock them on thumbnails or anything like that. Like I actually really like these thumbnails. I like the authenticity being shared
Me
just
too. Yeah.
in each one of these. I think that's why the views on this channel are actually across the board, even without these outliers. They feel solid. This like several hundred views per video on a channel with 2,000 subscribers. This all feels really, really good to me. So I think people see this and they're like, oh wow, this person, you know, is really like going out into the world. And I think stuff like this works really, really well. Here's what I'll say for like the next steps. I think the reason this was such an outlier was simply because you pitch in the title and thumbnail that you were on a particular quest to find a particular thing, right? Like
I don't know why, Dan, but you just make it sound like a video game.
Yeah, well,
a particular quest.
He's on a quest.
I know it's in the title. You're right. I don't know why I'm thinking video game vibes straight away for some reason.
He has to kill 12 moose and bring their antlers back to town for a reward
with a knife.
With a knife, yes,
or a carrot.
No, sorry. So I'm you know, I'm making fun of the language of quest here, but no, this is the idea that I'm trying to convey is that they actually have like a very solid goal in the title and thumbnail. And so you're getting a lot of people to click because this is like a story that's going to play out, and it's 40 minutes long. So it feels realistic to assume that you find the moose at the end, you know, that'd be kind of cool. So I think people are coming in because they like moose or because they are literally just excited to see what comes of this, you know, and you are going on like a particular mission, whereas the video before that is bad weather, good weather camping. This is like a tips kind of video, and sort of, I think, or you're just talking about your experience with different changing weather patterns in your camping trip. Either way, it's the goal is not as clear, and that's okay. Like you can make videos, you're just vlogging and going out and talking about, yeah, I went camping and the weather was nuts. But when you take the time to think, I'm going to like do a specific thing in this video, and then you pitch it really well with a good title and thumbnail, that's how you get your 12K views outlier, because this appeals to a lot more people now. I think more people who are outside of your core audience are willing to watch, and your core audience is probably satisfied too, because you're still doing your thing. You didn't go out of your way to do something completely new and unreal. So that is my thought for where this channel can go next.
There was a comment that came up, which I completely agree with, that was about the colors. And I think the use of would you call it gold or mustard yellow and black? I think that really fits the outdoor imagery, because I think you can always guarantee that the black and the gold is going to contrast well with the blues, the grays, the greens of wildlife. So nice branding there, as well. So it's a good job. I think maybe one last thing. Let's just have a look at popular. Are there any outliers that this creator could potentially tackle going forward? I would say that shotgun rebuild one is probably of a different era on their channel. That looks like they were very much into hunting a period ago. So maybe that moose one does kind of relate back to the hunting vibe that they had perhaps earlier. Maybe that's why there was more appeal to that one. So yeah, I mean, just the first impressions are just very promising. Like you have a clear passion, and you are sharing it, I think, every 2 weeks with your audience, and each video is like 20 to 40 minutes long. So definitely opportunities there to research more storytelling opportunities, if that isn't something that you've really tapped into just yet.
So fantastic channel. That's my first impression. Let's go to the next channel. This is a gaming channel, and we are looking at Questor. They have 105 subscribers, and they have 42 videos, probably mostly shorts. They did not ask us to necessarily focus on shorts. On their form, they said, do you find these video ideas appealing and intriguing for a wider audience? Which is essentially them asking, like, what's our first impression? And what do you think about the concept and structure of the videos and shorts? So they are asking us to kind of look at a video here too. So I think we do both of those things. I'm going to focus on the long form videos because that's where I think we get the best impression of what you're trying to do. Shorts will be kind of there forever, digging through shorts. So I noticed something right away with the latest like 4 videos, and that is I think they might be using AI to make their thumbnails, at least in part.
Yeah.
And I say that because like if you look carefully at this one, the there's a reason I'm going down this road. So just stick with me for a minute. If you look, you can kind of see one of the trees is kind of out of place. AI is really good at mimicking Minecraft in particular, because it's just such a popular game. But yeah, you can see there's the classic, like the text kind of looking like it was painted on, stuff like that. So why am I pointing that out? I don't think this is necessarily a problem. I think people are using AI to help them create thumbnails. Whatever you think about that, it doesn't matter. It's there. People are using it, and I think there's a right way and a wrong way. And I'm gonna just say for most gaming channels, you want to be careful about this because most video games are not as popular as Minecraft, and their imagery in the game is so important because the recognizability of a game to the average person is what makes them stop scrolling and go, "Oh, that's my favorite video game." So just be careful being over reliant, especially in the gaming space, because this is going to make it more difficult for people to recognize, especially if you're not playing Minecraft, where I'd say it's so well known at this point. But then again, it's so well known, you can kind of tell when it's, being fudged a little bit, right? Because like, well, I know you can't do that in Minecraft. So bit of a double-edged sword.
What I would counter with there just a little bit, Dan, is that given that they've only made 5 long form videos and maybe at the moment their thumbnail design skills are terrible, I think in terms of, let's just assume these are AI generated thumbnails, then they're certainly not bad. They're colorful, they're fairly simplistic. They do a job of telling the story of the potential video. But at the same time, yeah, I will agree with you that, especially with Minecraft, you almost want that iconic block style that isn't quite as polished as these thumbnails. But I think for where they are in their journey, this is totally cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm speaking long term, and I'm trying to just reach out to all gaming channels right now. Just definitely pick and choose how you're going to use these new fancy tools that we all have access to. So
I want to talk, Dan, now about the question I asked about, what was it, about audience? I'm just trying to remember exactly what the question was.
Do they reach, how can these videos appeal to a wider audience?
Basically? Right, okay, so wider audience. So I think that's what we should look at now. So what we see here is like doing challenges in, well, there's this What's Inside of Earth Minecraft edition. I think that can be fairly intriguing, actually. Yep. There is a question to be asked there, and if the hook is really powerful and let's say they dig like 100 layers down and they find a different material, that could be a really interesting hook for the video. These last 2, I guess my question is, in terms of wide appeal, is it an interesting feat to walk such a distance in the game? And does anybody care about walking long distances in the game?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it's just a challenge with no stakes. Yeah. And if you're going to walk for 5 kilometers, 15 minutes, what kind of, what would it be? Curiosity loops are you creating? Like stories within stories?
I have a history lesson for all of you based on this idea. And I want to watch this video, but I want to first show you what it reminds me of, because this is old school. If you watch Minecraft content like 10 years ago, you might know this creator. There was a series done a long time ago called Far Lands or Bust. Now, Far Lands is a Minecraft thing whereby when you make it to the edge of Minecraft, like it's just all broken and weird, and it's basically there's a point in which the world stops generating. And so this creator, I believe it's this creator, made a series called Far Lands or Bust. They're still doing it. Is it the same person? Anyway,
they're not getting the views maybe once.
No, they used to enjoy a much higher view count. Yeah, 13 years ago. This is them. So Far Lands or Bust. Now, that was literally them. The whole concept of this channel and series was them running to the far lands of Minecraft. The series ends when I hit the far lands. So that is the equivalent of, if you start from one end of the map to the other, that's like circumventing the literal globe of Earth 8 times. So it's probably like 4 circumventions of the earth of them just walking in a straight line to the far lands, and they're trying to survive along the way. But people subscribe to this, in my opinion, for the commentary along the way. Like, this creator was fun to listen to. It's like watching a podcast taking place in Minecraft. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that is what I would expect now. If you're going to run a marathon, if you're going to spend a lot of time walking in one straight line in Minecraft, it's like a challenge. You need to make sure that that hour-long video is really, really compelling. So we're talking about a wider audience. So let's just see what it's like.
Okay.
And immediately, I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard anybody speak.
I didn't hear anybody speak. So I'm thinking already within 3 seconds, thinking, oh, is it going to be an hour of this?
Right. So let's jump.
Well, I'll say let's do the first 15 seconds, Dan. Just play the first 15 seconds to see if anything happens.
Okay, we can do that.
And then we'll jump a few minutes into it.
I think they chaptered based on the songs that we're playing, though. So I do think this is a playlist of music.
Right. So maybe we'll just talk over it to make sure we don't have copyright claim issues. I'm not hearing a voice yet.
No voice.
No
13,
voice.
14. 15.
Right, okay, so let's skip 20 minutes in. And just check, is there any voice? Right, so no. So I guess my response would be possibly an intriguing idea. Somebody may go, oh, this is cool for the first 5 seconds. And then after 40 seconds, it's like, oh, so this is it, is it? Walking through Minecraft to music.
Yeah. I want to know who built this. Was it you, or did you download a map? Because either way, it's really impressive. If you built this, I think the video of you building this walkway would have been more appealing to me. Like, this is not naturally occurring in Minecraft. For those of you who don't know, like, this is someone built this walkway and decorated it too. These are all hand decorated scenery you're seeing. Like, here, this is all like really someone dug out this tunnel and someone built this with like just a straight path. You could have commentated.
Dan, look at the description.
50 hours making this. So I'm going to assume they built it. That would have been a really cool video, and I hope...
Special message at 46 minutes 46.
That's too long for a special message, but okay. So let's jump to that timestamp. Special message.
Oh, subscribe. Oh, wow.
So, okay. We're not focused on the right things here, in my opinion. I know I said I want to get through these quickly today, but I'm really hung up on this. Like, there's an opportunity here for, I think, a lot more views, and that is the journey of building this path. You have a talent as like a builder in Minecraft, and patience. That's a lot of it too. The time lapse of you building this. If you wanted to make a video like this, it's just music and footage. Time lapse it. Like, take all the footage of you building it, if it exists, and put it on super speed, and you can have your music in the background, and maybe some text pops up once in a while explaining what you're making next. But that would have been really cool. You just walking down a path that you built and not even talking about why you made the choices you made or anything for an hour is not something that people are going to put on and like lock into, you know. And some videos are made for the background, and that's okay if you're making, quote, second monitor content where your goal is to entertain people passively. But when we talk about having mass appeal, a lot of people are sitting down to like watch a video. They want to be entertained. So I don't think this has mass appeal. I think it has super hyper niche appeal. And I think more can be done here to add to the entertainment value of the content.
So I have one question, Dan. This is just about Minecraft in general.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not able to procedurally generate stuff like this through AI? Like create a continuing path and just build new scenery and stuff. Do you reckon such a thing exists?
I think mods would let you do stuff like that, but I don't know of now I'm out of the loop way big time on Minecraft in general, but I do think there's probably mods that would make something like this. But if they're claiming they spent 50 hours, and I'll just say this, I would say that this is in parts pretty impressive, but this feels handmade to me. In the sense that I think a procedurally generated AI kind of situation would have gone way over the top with the build.
Okay.
Like, this is a procedural generation. Like, these little towers exist in the game and they can pop up randomly. but like these fences with little pumpkins on them, this is them just kind of playing with lighting and stuff and just
Right.
making a path. But yeah, I think this is a really long distance in Minecraft, and I think that's really impressive. And I think that they could have documented that, and maybe they still have the footage. And I think I would suggest that. But I want to hear you commentate a little bit. I want you to talk to us, and maybe because that's a particular video, let's just give this one quick look of like this video here. It looks like the same kind of thing actually, because it says lo-fi. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they did this before, and then this one. Do we get
Beneath the surface of our home planet, there are
AI voice commentary? So
I still think that's fair for where they are in their journey.
yeah. It's again though, we're talking about like how do I grow as a YouTuber, mass appeal, things like that. Keep in mind you're competing with channels that are putting themselves out there more. So just those are the lessons I think to take away here. But again, 5 long form videos in the last few months. They're trying to put their best foot forward with the tools they have. I don't think they're doing a bad job. I think there's just a lot of headroom for improvement here, and a lot of opportunity too. If you're building stuff that's taking 50 hours, that's what people are interested in this space. They want to see stuff come together. People love progression, especially in a game like Minecraft. So I highly recommend considering that for your next video.
What I might do is take 5 of those hours and maybe just plug them into a bit more research on what would be a really good idea within Minecraft, and then execution of it. Sure, I know you probably lose yourself in a build, and that's the fun thing to do, but you do have to just pause for a second and think, is anybody going to be interested in watching me walk through this landscape once it's finished?
Right. So hey, best of luck, and we'll move on to the next pre-selected channel, which is GeologyDude. What?
Just before we do, Dan, I did have a quick question. I just want to catch up on your experience with Spider-Man 2, because I think we both mentioned that we were started playing it at exactly the same time. Have you finished it? Are you halfway through it? How's it going?
I am doing the thing. So I play through a story mission. Yeah. And what it typically does is unlock some side stuff.
Sure.
And then I do all of it.
Me too.
All of it. Yeah. And then I do another story mission. So I've only done like 4 or 5 story missions at this point.
It is pretty incredible and fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you do have a PlayStation, we highly recommend it if you haven't played it already. I'm now at a point where I'll say Spider-Man has now some new... He's gone through a change, and so I'm there at the moment, but I don't want to spoil it any further.
Well, there you go. That's our gaming corner for the week.
It is. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to self-indulge.
So, GeologyDude, we have 1.4K subscribers, 360 videos, and I picked this one based on a really interesting comment they left.
Yep.
So this took me a little bit to like understand. I don't fully understand it, but I think I get where they're coming from. They said they have 45% of the viewers from VPN. I don't know if that's shorthand for a country or people are watching using a VPN.
How would they know they were?
I don't know. But let's put that aside. Yeah. They are very aware of how many people from different regions are watching their content. 35% USA, 2.2% from Turkey, and that's their top 3 like regions. They want more English-speaking viewers. They translate their notes into 100 languages, and 20% of their viewers read the notes. Now, I was looking around, I watched a video, and I was trying to figure out what they meant. So, if you look at this, there's like these notes about like what they're talking about, and I think this is what they say when this is when they translate them. I don't know where they live, but like where the rest of the notes live, I mean, but when they translate them, I'm assuming those go somewhere else, or they're talking about the closed captions, and maybe you can switch between a lot of different languages.
Yeah.
But essentially what they've done, I think, is made their content accessible to more languages, and they were wondering how to get more English-speaking viewers, which I thought was really interesting, because I would say if you're taking the time to translate your videos in a number of different languages, your goal shouldn't be more English speaking if that's your native language. It should be more all the languages. I would expect the question to be reversed and say, how do I get even more regions to watch my content? But they want more English speaking.
So I'm still a little confused, Dan, if you go back to their question. because if 35% come from the USA, then I would guess that the UK, Canada, and Australia would be contributors as well, given that they're native English speakers as well. So the VPN thing is completely throwing me.
Yeah, it's throwing me. Yeah.
What I could say to the creator is that all of your dreams and wishes hopefully going to be answered within the next 3 to 6 months, because YouTube is working on and hopefully rolling out auto dubbing, which should allow your content to be translated into many different languages. I don't know which ones. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's not all languages at the moment, but that should fix a lot of what seems to be legwork that you're having to put in manually at the moment. It seems like an incredible amount. Again, this thing about you translate into 100 languages, there must be some automation being involved there. 20% of my viewers read notes. I don't know how you track that. Did you look at the number of views versus the number of clicks?
That's why I think it's captions
on these things. Okay.
I think because it tells you if people are using the captions.
I think ultimately what I would say, Dan, is that we're getting so much into the weeds of language that perhaps they're ignoring like the bigger picture of their ideas and their packaging of their contents.
Yes.
They may be so focused on trying to gain a handful of viewers from different languages that they're maybe not investing that time into how I could talk about the fascinating geology of Wilson's Way bridge boulder in a more intriguing way in terms of a pitch and a story type of thing. That would be my encouragement to the creator to maybe think about packaging more of these videos rather than language and different audience, the entire world audiences, which is what they seem hell-bent on trying to appeal to.
Yes. I think if you're going to do captions, you are doing that for like maybe a passive gain in the future, right? Like people are like, I really want to know about this particular landmark and I'm coming to this channel. I'm really hoping there's captions in my own language because I can tell they're an English speaking channel, but I would worry so much less about that. And let's talk about the way these videos are being presented to the current audience, because I noticed a few things. I watched a couple videos. So this video is literally just music, different B-roll shots of a spinning map, and text on the screen explaining what it is.
Okay.
And I worried that was the whole channel, but this video is commentated. I was wondering if they were using an AI voice. I watched quite a bit, and I don't think they are. I think they just have a really good speaking voice. I think
Dan, in the description, they say this is not an AI channel. They are very keen to tell us this.
I didn't see that, but okay, perfect. So yeah, they just are very consistent in the way they talk, but they have a good speaking voice. And so I'll just let you watch a little bit of this.
All right.
Move. However, instead of breaking it into smaller pieces for removal,
that's a nice voice.
Metro Parks in Tacoma decided to keep it whole. It is a natural feature in the new 2019 expansion of Point Defiance Park.
So they're really going in depth on this particular landmark. And I think that's cool. They have a lot of facts about it. And what I would have liked to see in the packaging of this video is one of those facts front and center, because you kind of have the name of the boulder twice. Wilson Way Bridge Boulder, the fascinating geology, interesting hook there, the fascinating geology of the Wilson Way boulder. What if you had put, I think he says in the video, it was like discovered 12,000 years ago or something. So an arrow, and it says 12,000 years old or something like that. Like, there's some kind of interesting tidbit that you could have done with the picture of the boulder and some text and an arrow that would have been more clickable than just repeating the title and the thumbnail. That was like one of my takeaways from this. And I think that's where the focus needs to lie.
I'm starting very basic here, but like an arrow pointing saying this rock shouldn't be here.
Yes.
Or like, aliens dropped this rock? Question mark. Because I guess
that wasn't the video, but okay.
I guess the sense is that there is no rock like this within a 1,000-mile radius. It's a completely different material to everything else. I know I might be wrong here, but I'm kind of trying to build a story of intrigue here. This rock has been investigated by 100 geologists, and nobody can explain how it got here because there weren't any glaciers that went through. Do you know what I mean? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Like trying to tell a story as opposed to trying to present facts.
Yes.
Because I think this will appeal. We talk about the total addressable market. This will probably appeal to geologist fanatics in the Washington region of the US. But if you just want to appeal to a more casual audience who just finds interesting stories about nature and landscapes intriguing when they're casually roaming around YouTube, you're probably not packaging in a way that appeals to them at the moment.
Yeah. That I loved your description of this rock shouldn't be here, because by the bits of the video I've watched, I feel like that'd be a fitting
Okay.
a package. Now, I think that would still call for a different intro, because you'd have to set up immediately from the click, right? Like people would need to hear you say like, this rock should definitely not be here. I'm going to explain why this is such a rare occurrence, or a once in a lifetime occurrence, or something like that. So packaging videos, like, you can change the thumbnail and try this if you want to, but I think it would have needed a better intro as well. And so that's why we always stress, like, hey, think about the packaging of your video, not just the title and thumbnail, which you can change at any point. Think about that intro. What are people going to hear after clicking? Because the title and thumbnail are part of the content. The experience has already started when someone watches, or when someone looks at your thumbnail, and when someone reads the title. They're already starting to invest. So if you pull the rug out and the intro doesn't match what they're already invested in, they're clicking away. So it would have required, I think, a slightly different intro, but I think it's still worth trying, because they get to the point pretty quick. Now, I think these spinning map videos, I think this is a content bucket that, in my opinion, is already showing its difference between the more story-driven content where you're actually talking. Because like this is a spinning map video,
it's hundreds versus dozens of views, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's kind of like night and day. This one did all right. But then look, the video before it, 510 views. And then it's another story about like a great glacial erratic, which is a new term I'm learning from this channel. Because that's what this is too. And people are interested in that. That is absolutely valid. And I think this content bucket is cool. It's cool that you tested it. But if you're going to use this really interesting map spinning footage, you need to do more with it. Or I would say it's time to abandon this content bucket, to be honest. If I'm being brutally honest, that would be my assessment. I would say this needs to be updated in some way, or this is your path, these types of videos. That's my brutal honesty assessment.
There was one outlier video just a little down there, Dan, I noticed, which had, I think, tens of thousands of views, or was it 5,000 views? Cascades Volcanic, I believe, was the one. Should we just click on that and watch the first 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Hello, rock people. This is Dave, the Geology Dude. Today we're looking at volcanic mudflows, boulders, and logs from the Cascade Range Mountains. This video attempts a new way to present educational material. Each object's spin is from a mesh of about 300 photos. From this, three-dimensional models of rocks and geology are created using an iPhone and photogrammetry software. This video is not a product of artificial intelligence.
All right. Let's answer that question.
Text on the screen is a little hard to read, and also because you're captioning it, it's redundant. So I would have just put some more B-roll in that, beginning bit of footage and stuff like that. But yeah, it still explains things well. We kind of get the hook. We get the point of the video pretty quickly.
I love the voice. I feel as if this person could do a side hustle gig as like a voice actor.
Yeah.
Incredible soothing voice. Love it.
Our first stop is at the Thorpe Lahars in central Washington state. Thorpe is near the city of Ellensburg, located about 100 miles east of Seattle, or 160 kilometers. It is on the western edge of the Columbia Plateau near the Cascade Range foothills. Most people travel to Ellensburg.
And one note before we move on. I think when you're doing this part, it's very tempting in your editing software to do a slow zoom for the entirety of this section. You mentioned a town. I think some B-roll from just Google or something of the town would have been more appealing, because I'm starting to get a little bored. And I think all I need to see is, you mentioned the range and this town. I just want to start seeing photos or video of something. So that would just help.
Facts, population, climate, the most famous landscapes and scenery around, perhaps. Yeah.
But this is solid. I mean, you've tapped into something here for sure, and I think if I were to guess, I think these videos are quicker to make, and because you're not commentating or anything, and it might be this temptation to like make sure you're always getting something out. And if I'm right, like this is just for everybody, you don't have to do that. It's okay to upload infrequently if you're spending a lot of time making a quality piece, because you can tell when these, in my opinion, more quality pieces come out, they pay off with more views. I don't think you need to fill time if that's what these are. Maybe you're putting in a lot more effort than maybe you make these maps for all I know. But like I said, I think more needs to be done with these to make them a little more interesting. And just be like, I'll just show you what I mean. Like I look through, this is the video. Classical music. Rotate your map.
Maybe they're already doing this, but you could probably possibly tell the same story in a short, like a 60-second short.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
The problem with these types of videos is there's essentially no pattern interrupts. What you see in the first 30 seconds is what you see in the 10th minute and the 15th minute. And I think, anyway, it's just a slow rotating map with a little bit of context here and there with the burnt-in captions. But I don't think it's going to be enough to keep me engaged. I will probably be watching this at 2x speed, maybe skipping ahead, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Should I be interested to this detail in this topic?
Sorry about the notifications there. I meant to turn those off. So let's move on to a new channel. We'll pick randomly from our non-gaming form. I'm just going to use the boring picker today. It's going to pick 247.
I'll still add the sound effect.
Definitely not the claw.
Oh, Dan, wait, let's go to a form here, right? So we're trying to educate our audience a bit more and like asking specific questions. So the question is, what part of your channel do you want us to focus on? Do not answer with more views and more subscribers. Give us something specific to look at. Views.
Views, period.
We would like to know maybe what your big pain point is. Like, what do you think you struggle with most? That type of thing. So just try and be more considerate to the question in future, because now we're just going to have to audit it as a channel, as a blank canvas, I guess.
Yes. So BENKAKA Media, 500.
What is that profile image?
Sorry?
Not make that profile image. I can't make it out.
I can't either. Yeah, it's hard to tell what that is.
All right.
So I want to say this is a channel covering trending topics, celebrity gossip, things like that. We do have an outlier here, so this might have been like a more trending story. I guess the question is, when it comes to like trending content and stories about gossip and things, I'm a little bit hesitant to click because I don't know what is going to be said, and I don't want us to like we're a channel for like, you know, all ages kind of audience. I don't know if judging by just what I've seen of drama channels, sometimes they're not appropriate for all ages. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. You just get thrown in 5 seconds in. It's like, oh, I wasn't expecting to see that.
Yeah, but I do think my first impressions is that of all these situations, compared to other videos I've seen that cover trending situations, I'm not seeing the story kind of laid out. I'm seeing a lot of like names and things, but what's happening is kind of lost.
I can't tell.
Okay, it's a foreign language channel, right?
I can't tell if this is original content or just clips put together from elsewhere.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing like a central host, narrator, character. Like, just if you go to the about section, does it tell us any more about the source of this stuff? Yeah, we'd have to watch one of the videos to really work out if there's a voiceover to add transformation and commentary to this.
Do you want me to click on one?
I don't know if I do, Dan, if I'm honest.
Okay. So because all we can do is look at the little player here. If you're taking content from elsewhere, make sure it's transformative. And it's hard to assess because I'm seeing now that this is a different language that I don't read, unfortunately. Yeah. The about section's in English, so it's a little confusing. But the rest of the channel is not. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I think you have these outliers. Look at your data and try and figure out why these videos are popping off so much harder than some of the other videos you're making. Maybe it's just that some of these stories are trending so much harder, and you need to be more careful about the stories you choose to jump on, or maybe you're just kind of always playing that luck game. Like maybe the story is going to pop off, so I'm going to jump on it and hope for the best, which can also work.
Scroll down, Dan. Can you just mouse over the outliers? They look like they were possibly music videos. There were two here. See what I mean? Just by the thumbnails.
Yeah, and they're not moving like the other ones, so this is probably a still image throughout.
Oh, maybe I'll just offer music then.
Yeah.
So yeah, even after looking at this channel now for 1 or 2 minutes, a couple of things that we can't really work out is whether it's original content. The answer to me would be no. So if the answer is no, is it transformational content? And because it jumps through so many different topics, such as like from tragedy to music to interviews to a bit of sports, again, I'm just not convinced that there's enough originality going into the transformation of the content to make it a sustainable channel. But as I say, we might be wrong here, but because we have that doubt, we're almost afraid to watch one of these videos because we're not sure on the content. So like the packaging and the channel itself is really not doing an effective job with the communication.
I'm going to consider before the next live stream, and this could be a conversation Rob and I have offline, but I'm just going to throw it out now for everybody because maybe we put up a poll or something. Would you prefer it if we didn't look at channels if they don't fill this out? And I'm including just one-word responses, because I do feel like lately I'm getting a lot more out of channel reviews when I understand what you all want from them.
Yeah, well,
right?
we have a really good question to dive into.
Right. I want to encourage you all to challenge us and ask really interesting questions and things, because I feel like we're going to have to move on from this channel now, but maybe even though it's a language we don't fully understand, we could have gotten a little more backstory. I believe I've set the limit to this to 200 to 300 characters or something, so it's enough for like a tweet-sized amount of text to kind of like tell us what's going on. I don't know. I might make that a rule. I'm seeing a lot of yeses right now, so
you're seeing a lot of yes. Are you?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I do think that we would love to like make this more of a regular part of the stream. So I don't know. I'm tempted to move on from channels that aren't filling this out, not to condemn them or anything, but like maybe. But I feel like if you're not filling that out, you are probably getting a lot out of what we're telling other channels. You know what I mean? Like I don't have any particular questions. Maybe you'll look at my channel, maybe you won't. You'll get a lot out of just watching the stream from seeing other people's channels. All right. So for example, thumbnails and hooks, first 30 seconds of videos, very specific. Like I am concerned about my thumbnails and my hooks and take a look at like the first 30 seconds. We'll take a look.
Bruh. Oops, sorry, that was supposed to be I'm pressing the wrong sound effects here. Scofield Studios.
All right. 14.4K subscribers, 332 videos. They're a film critic who reviews movies. They've seen over 1,000 movies and shows. Nice. Okay, really positive signals here. Should we look at the latest?
So we're looking at thumbnails and hooks, right?
Oh, yes.
I'd say, first of all, the thumbnails are generally very good. Using a good, I'd say, rules of third in terms of positioning of stuff on the thumbnails are fairly simple. Great use of text. It's used sparingly, and it's a big statement word. And when I look at, Dan, look, all 6 Jurassic Park movies ranked. You should really watch that video. Dan.
That will spoil them for me.
That would be your in for the Jurassic Park franchise.
In
fact, I think we should watch that one, Dan. I think that should be the video that we watch. For folks who are new here, I've been trying to convince Dan to watch just any of the Jurassic Park films for the entire year, and he still hasn't.
I'll start at the latest one, and I'll judge the whole franchise from that. Is that okay?
No, please don't do that. That's the worst.
I'm going to do it.
I'm
going to watch the latest one. Okay, so let's watch this 30K views. Massive outlier for the channel. Just, okay, we're talking about thumbnails and intros, which means packaging across the board. I click on this video. What do you expect to see in the first 30 seconds of a video that says all 6 Jurassic Park movies ranked worst to best?
Controversial opinion or something that catches me off guard. That's what I'm expecting and hoping from the first 20 seconds.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, hold on. I'm going to start it over.
All right. Okay.
With the Jurassic Park franchise going on for over 30 years, with the 7th film on the way, here's how 6 Jurassic Park movies rank from worst to best. And in last place, without doubt, is Jurassic World Dominion. I have never
Agreed.
seen a movie with so much promise, crash and burn. This movie had the makings to be awesome. All the
Was that?
dinosaurs
Hang on.
are-
Was that an AI? That must have been. That was a graphically animated FedEx plane crashing.
I
their
really
ship.
hope so,
I
because I
think
don't know.
it was. Yeah, I don't think you'd
I don't
ever
know
see a
if footage
plane
like
do
that
that.
could be put on YouTube, especially if someone got hurt.
It was a nice clip as well. That first clip of a scene from the original Dan, which again I would recommend you watch. That is a good way to start the film. Start the video.
So I am already invested, not in the movies in particular, but like in the video. I think you started out really strong and then you immediately went into your rankings. So yeah, in last place, you could do the classic tier list and like use that just as B-roll. You don't have to make a big deal. Like everyone's seen a tier list now, so you don't have to make a big deal out of it. But when you say in last place, you could just show B-roll of the movie slotting into the F tier or something like that. But I really feel this is strong. If you're asking us about, hey, how are my titles and intros and stuff, we're asking you, can you do a seminar on titles and thumbnails and intros? Because I think you've nailed this, more than nailed. This is such a crowded space too, reviewing shows and movies. And you are look at the amount of stuff they're watching, by the way. Family Guy, Alien, Tarantino movies. Like, we're all over the spectrum and they are appealing to a wide audience.
There was a comment there that there was maybe a good point that the audio wasn't the best. Should we just watch
That might
the
be my
most
fault.
recent?
I'm getting some internet issues today, but
Okay.
let's listen again just to judge that real
All
quick.
right.
Jurassic Park franchise going on for over 30 years, with the 7th film on
Sounds a
the
little
way. Here's
peaky
how-
to me.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's work on that. Let's,
Can we listen
better
to the most
microphone.
recent video as well? Let's just see if they've fixed or improved that.
Okay.
With Quentin Tarantino being considered one of the best filmmakers.
A bit better here. A bit
Yeah.
better, but not fully there yet.
It's maybe I don't know if they're just too close to the microphone, so it's just picking up all of the little peaks, or they just need to invest in a condenser microphone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Headset mic, you think? Yeah, I think so too. I think it's something like that. It's okay. I think this is totally hearable. It's fine.
Sure.
But yeah, that would be my next improvement for you, especially because this is you're not a face on the channel. It's going to be very heavily audio based. Because your opinions here are the star. So once you can, holidays coming up, see if anybody wants to like help you pitch in for a microphone. Turn on a compressor to help that audio. If you have something like that.
Just to wrap up this audit then, Dan, if we go back to the channel, I think the thumbnails are very good. It feels like you got the hooks nailed down and you get into it straight away. There was a bit of comedy in the one that we saw, and like you jumped in with a worst ranked film. So I guess you can have a bit more fun with that. And it's kind of a controversial way to start because you're going from worst to best. I guess the challenge and the question is that you have outliers like the Jurassic Park one, 30,000 views, Family Guy, 50,000 views, but then you have ones that just completely tank, like Pirates of the Caribbean, only 500 views, Aliens, only 200 views.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe to be expected somewhat, because sometimes you're jumping movie genres quite significantly. And with your cadence, I guess that there's just the risk of that. How do you fix that? Well, I guess you might ask yourself, what is the next natural series I might cover after Jurassic Park? And what might that be? I'm guessing what do you think might be a good? It's kind of, Jurassic Park is like a family film. So what could be? Might be Pirates of the Caribbean could have come after that.
I would say is something really small that might have changed things for them. The word ranked on both of these.
It's a good call out, but Scream is also ranked as well, and that one didn't perform well. However, it's a very different thumbnail.
But like this, if you had just had so let's say the picture on the left of the alien really clear because it's nice and bright, and then the word ranked. Like this red and green split screen didn't work so as well as with Family Guy, where Peter is like looking normal and then really drunk. And this says something. Like there's commentary here of like, oh, Family Guy went downhill, by season 22. So I think certain films, like if you would just put the word ranked here above all the actors, I don't know. I would have tested that in my thumbnail A/B test because that's kind of interesting.
Here's a question: after the Family Guy one, would you have maybe have done every Simpsons episode? Because that feels like the next natural video to do rather than Aliens.
You could have ridden that train a little bit harder, I guess, after that. Now,
Potentially,
Are they worried about being typecast? I wouldn't.
Sure.
I think you are appealing to a lot of new viewers with every video because you're kind of all over the spectrum of movies and shows. So I think it's okay to do a series for a bit where you're doing cartoons and then you move on to Quentin Tarantino or whatever. Because it's the same thing, whether it's 5 videos or 1 video at a time, you are probably appealing to a different audience with this video versus this video. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, like the way you're doing it.
And again, to give the creator credit here, we see so many movie review channels that just get stuck in the hundreds of views at best, whereas this person is having outliers of tens of thousands of views, which is fantastic because they're sticking to ranking. It seems basically ranking the franchises of films. So by most popular, do we have any ones that we just haven't seen yet? No, so it is a Family Guy one that's doing pretty well, and it's all of a rank. You are right, Dan, in that one where you have perhaps either the montage of clips or one central image of it being Rocky Balboa and Jurassic Park, and then ranked. That big rank. That is, I think, that is a bit of branding there that they can hold themselves to where possible.
Yes, I agree. So hey, best of luck. I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Good work. Good work.
This is. I'd be very proud of this channel. Really solid.
And I think, Dan, you just kind of proved your point there that we had a question where we looked at 2 very specific things, but it kind of encourages us to look at other aspects of the channel once we kind of tackled them and said, "Yep, you're doing a good job here." So where else is potentially there room for improvement and opportunity?
Yeah. The question on the forum isn't necessarily to keep your audit like too hyper focused. We're happy with the topic. But stuff like this always really, really, really helps us. So I think we're going to pick a gaming channel now, and we're going to skip it if they didn't fill it out.
Okay.
177. All right. So I'll type in 177. How do I improve my YouTube channel and video?
It's too broad, isn't it?
It's very broad. I think we're going to be helping people do that regardless. I'm going to skip it. Not specific.
Wow,
all right.
The vidIQ head honcho there has spoken.
Shorts quality. Okay.
Cool. We can work with that.
Let's work with that, and let's throw it in here. All right, JMoonzs, we're skipping over your shorts. We want to talk about the quality of your shorts. I already have notes, but let's look at the...
Well, we're going to say something straight away, I think, aren't we? Full video up right now, I think.
Yeah. We need to crop your video properly. It's okay with, especially with gaming too, it's okay to lose content on the left and right if the center still shows like the thing you want to focus on.
So, music there. Okay, so they're using the YouTube Shorts tool to take music from elsewhere and remix it. That's totally cool to do, but it would potentially give us a copyright claim.
Yeah,
were we to just play it without any our input.
I think shorts quality wise, you should first stick to gaming, because I feel like sometimes, like unless this is a game with anime style graphics, I feel like these are TV shows. The captions were in another language. There's way too much going on. If I were to scroll to any of these in my shorts feed, I would probably continue scrolling because it's sensory overload the second I see it. I'll click on a different one.
Mute it down.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is original. So this is original audio from them.
Is it?
Bring it on. I'm not sure actually.
It's looping. It says Roblox. I guess it's supposed to be comparing a scene from an anime to something happening in Roblox, recreated in Roblox, I think. But it's too. do you see how hard it was? I had to watch it 4 times to kind of like, 4 is an exaggeration. I had to watch it a few times to get the gist of it. After being blown away by the audio, it was bring it on. Like, whoa, it's too much happening. So I think if we're talking about shorts quality, I think you are over the line there of like what people will tolerate when they just randomly scroll to this. We need to crop it better so we don't have giant black bars on the short.
What about one of these basketball ones?
Okay. Like these are cropped better.
I was not open for that shit.
Good.
Sorry.
Is it really? Are they all really loud, or is it?
It's YouTube is putting the volume up
For that
very
shit.
high, but yeah, this is better in the sense that at least it's cropped properly and it's just one clip versus like a cut together like anime video game. I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
These ones that got better views. I keep muting it. It keeps coming back. These ones that got better views are where I'd be looking. Like, why did this get better views? It's probably because it tells a bit of a story. We're building up the intensity of, are they going to make the shot? And I'm still watching because I'm like, is it going to happen?
From downtown.
Nice. That's
That's
awesome.
Sullivan noises from basketball, right?
Yes, it told a story. Like it's a little one, but it told a story.
From long range.
I'm glad you have these because that is what I'm going to say is the difference. These are more compelling than these. I think you probably are putting a lot of effort into these, editing them differently and stuff, but I don't think it's quite communicating the message you're trying to get across very well. Whereas these are nice and simple to understand. So I would keep practicing with, the stories you're trying to tell with these.
Did you ever play NBA Jam? Damn.
No, I will say some of these got pretty good views. So
classic game for the 90s. He's heating up.
I did not. These for the channel, these got good views, but I think for in context of shorts, these are not like this might be the ceiling. You know what I mean?
It's early doors. I think there needs to be more intrigue and maybe, as you say, storytelling, a bit more transformation rather than it feels like they're recording a clip from a game and then just sticking a block of text in the top right-hand corner to try and tell a story. More might be required there. I think you're always going to have challenges with these videos at the top where you're kind of encouraging people to watch the full video. Right? That feels too much of a promotion.
Yeah.
For something that's not there, not available. But early doors, let's keep at it. And hey, you've got 600 subscribers already, so there is progress being made.
Yeah. So yeah, best of luck to JMoonzs. Thank you for your question. What do you think? Quick one?
I think we probably have to call it time now, Dan.
All right.
To get these Christmas decorations up.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Yeah, I don't know about you, Rob. I kind of want to make that a rule going forward. If you guys fill out the form, I want to see your questions. I want to know what this is like an opportunity to just if you had a YouTube coach, for example, which is a service we offer, you would be your coach would not say, okay, what do you want? And you say views and they have a whole bunch of advice for you. They're going to ask you a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So we only have a few minutes to look at your channel. Really helps us out if you say, this is what I would like to see and do and have you look at. But all right. Cool. Well, we're just going to end it here because we got to go. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week for the Christmas special, maybe.